Time for serious radio on the Bridge 99 FM. We talk the politics, we talk the social order, we talk the economics of Jamaica for the benefit of those in the diaspora who yearn for home, whose seniors and whose tendons reach out for what they've left on the rock. We try to make the connection. That's what the Bridge is all about, you know. It's a unique radio station, you know, and it has some programming that just fills the spirit as well as gives you the information that you need. Call us on 876-551-5782 if you care, or 876-676-4996. This is the Public Eye. I'm Ronald Thwaites. With me is the redoubtable and venerable, the Honorable Pearnel Charles, veteran public servant. We're happy to be with you to co-host this program. Later today, Ambassador Curtis Ward, outspoken, clear, progressive in his representation of the country and his analysis of our foreign policy, joins us. And later on too, Dr. Novelet Davis Buckner, one of the so many Jamaicans whose heart burns for her country and who has organized a foundation which is helping to remediate some of the deficiencies of health care, some of the additional things that we can't manage, that she and her colleagues and other generous people can. We'll be happy to share with her and to promote what she's doing. Happy to be with you. Remember, you can always clear with us on the Bridge 99 FM, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Bridge 99 FM, where you can download the Bridge 99 FM app in the Google Play Store and the Apple Store. So, Mr. Charles, good day to you, sir.
Good day to you, Mr. Thwaites, and let me say good day to a number of people way up into the Dry Harbor Mountain who called me to say they are now able to not only hear me, but see me and Mr. Thwaites and some devils download.
Yes, man, they download it.
And they're singing, and so I said, could I just greet them up in the Dry Harbor Mountain? I know you have no springs, no rivers, and when you want water to do like I had to do, go and get it in a stone. But I told somebody to joke. Sometimes Mama send it to water in the hills, you know. You have to box the water to get the tadpole away so you can take up water.
Okay.
Because the frogs also dominate the waters in the hills.
With supply.
Right?
Oh my goodness, listen to that. Fancy that.
So I'll say hello to Mr. Ricketts and his friends and all those who are say they're watching us listening to us now. That's good. And spread the word so that others can hear.
Jamaicans here and abroad, we never forget where our navel string buried, you know.
No, we're not. And anybody who forget, we need to tell them, remember your papa, your mama.
Is there a man whose soul so dead, who never to himself has said, this is my native land, and so on. Yes, good, thank you. What's burning in your heart today, Honorable Pearnel Charles?
The thing that
events.
Burns me in my heart, and I think that's the right part of my body that you have touched. Because I was Minister of Public Utilities and Transport for 2 terms.
Oh, remember.
And during those terms, a lot of what is happening today happened. One that I believe I defeated was when the taximen got upset and the minibus, because I said the pacing up of naked women in the buses and playing the kind of drum music. When you are beside a bus, you know, your car shake up, you know.
Indeed.
Because what's going on in there? I said, no, that's unacceptable. And so I carried out a program of removing the naked pictures and either removing or cut the music back to radio. Well, they had some problems, but the taximen decided that they're going to shut down taxi like they did, that I was saying they're going to do now. I didn't have much problem. I called the commissioner. I said that every car that is licensed in Kingston and all over Jamaica, you have to tell how many passengers it can carry. I'm going to ask that no private vehicle pass the people up Stony Hills, Red Hills, Halfway Tree who have to go to school. All private cars, please allow them to carry people, I don't say take no money, you know.
No, sir.
But a man, that's a thing for you, for your gas or for your business. Ronnie, the taxi men had to fight them 3 days after to get back the passengers. Because so while I'm at that, let me ask you, because you're a right person to ask. Are we supposed to protect children traveling in public transport?
Of course.
What is the... Well, let me tell you, I was a taxi man for 4 years. You know that, right?
You were a taxi man in New York.
I drive a taxi in New York.
As a student, yes. Okay.
Right?
Yes. By the way, you and many other people who rose to political prominence, you know.
Yes.
Yes? I believe Katie and I drove a taxi at one stage too.
Yeah, but
and others.
Yes.
Yes. Good show. And it's important for me to say that. You know why? Because some of our people feel less stush. And me drive taxi? No.
Well, can I tell you something about them think they're stusher?
Yeah.
When I graduated, the money that I could make as driving a taxi. I drove taxi 6 or 7 months after that with my graduation certificate in the back.
Yes.
Not looking in the job because they can't pay me what I was looking at.
To make up my money so you could come back home.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, and look a lady in the eye. I'll tell you.
All right. So I said to my colleague, do we protect children? If we protect children, then children cannot sit in a taxi without protection. Right. What did I used to do? Yeah. If you have a child under a year and a half, 2 years, you sit in the back, put on your seatbelt, and hold the child.
Sure. That's what you do in the plane.
Exactly. You follow me? You don't sit in the front.
No.
Right? So I think when this government said that we're going to put in a seat, we had a seat too for those who, when you carry a one passenger.
Or alone.
Yes, and you have it in the back of your car. So you put it on.
I see, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you put it in the back.
Right, and you attach it.
You attach it onto the seat.
Okay.
You follow me? If a person says, I'm going to downtown and I have my little child with me, you put it in the seat. Now, it is difficult to carry 2 and 3 children with a passenger in a taxi and they are not able to be belt down.
Yeah.
So, you mean, you really can't come. You understand?
Yeah.
But the government cannot tell me, and I'm going to support it, that you are going to withdraw a part of the law which say children traveling in taxi must either be seated in as a big passenger with a seatbelt if they are able to, or the person carrying them cannot sit in the front, must sit in the back.
Well, I believe you've outlined a compromise, which makes sense, and that is that the person holding the child,
must hold the child,
who is not otherwise restrained, must sit in the back.
Yes.
Yes.
And seat himself.
Sure. And belt himself.
Yes. Okay. And then hold the child.
Yeah. Got you. Now is that what Minister Shaw announced yesterday? I don't think so. It was something a bit more diffuse than that. But the concern I have is that we labored so long over this law. When you were in Parliament, when I was in Parliament, the regulations took an even longer period. And I'm surprised, and in fact crestfallen, that we never picked this up, because we clearly put in something which, on the surface of it, is impractical. And it would have been better had the homework been done perhaps more sensitively.
But you are saying it's impractical because of what they say.
No.
If what they say that if you're carrying 6 children, you must have belt. That's foolishness. Yeah. I mean, how are you going? You cannot belt a child under a year or a year old. They drop out anyhow.
Well, so it seems to me that a recourse such as you suggest is the best one.
Well, it's international.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, this is not any new thing.
And remember, it doesn't only apply to taxis. The law applies to everybody.
Yes, but surprisingly, in the large buses, I don't know. I've never driven one, so I don't know what happened at that time. But I think the same thing is that you have to hold the child.
Yes, but that is reasonable, and any humane parent or guardian will do that, or even a stranger. But to have this notion that anybody under 12 has to have a special seat, which is what what the law came out
Anybody
with.
under
last-
12?
Yes, sir. That was it.
No, well, that was it.
Yeah, but
But
that
they
was
didn't
why.
consult you or me.
No.
Who
No, but you see, this is it. So, frankly, I don't hold. I make these points. I note these points. I hear what you say and approve of it, agree with it. But what concerns me is the broader issue of public transportation. Because we do not have a public transportation policy. We have the absurdity of the Jamaica Urban Transport Company costing us over $12 billion a year. It will never stop costing us, Pearnel, because it is running empty 90% of the time. Having sold away at very little money, its franchise to a variety of operators.
Why are you looking at me?
Well, no.
Because I am the one who did the selling.
Yes, sir. But if
you know why?
Why?
Because, Ronnie,
You couldn't put the capital into JUTC.
not the capital.
Uh-huh.
You don't have the road.
Well, fine. I agree.
You don't have
if
any
you're,
road.
If you're buying those big buses.
The big buses
Uh-huh.
cannot run worse now.
Yeah.
And somebody was in a traffic jam with me a few days ago.
Uh-huh.
From Crossroad up to Mullins Road.
Yeah.
And when I reach up at Flow, at Oxford Road, the total jam up. Someone look at me and say, "What is this, Mr. Charles?" I say, "Blame on Jones." Why? We say, "Is he make my man buy a car?"
Well, no, but you take...
No, of course we were making a joke.
That's a serious joke. Because
Ronnie,
nobody...
everybody have a car now.
Why? Believe me, I live in the mountains.
Yes.
I would be very happy if I could park my car at Papine and take up a reliable public transportation to get me to the bridge or to get me to the courthouse or to the church where I frequent.
I tell you better than that. What did I do? I said these buses cannot be on the road. Sell it out to small
And what are we
buses.
doing?
Hold on.
Uh-huh.
And what happened? Paint them.
Mm-hmm.
You have from Mona down.
Mm-hmm.
You have out of Mullins.
Sure, different routes.
And
anyway, you're out of your color, then you're in trouble.
yeah, the Jamaican
Understands that.
cannot obey that discipline. And guess what? Not them alone.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why it's not them alone.
What do you mean?
They take a taxi man.
Uh-huh.
You be thinking a taxi man could take me up at the foot of Red Hills and Mullins Road and take the left side of the road, the right side of the road.
Yeah.
Would mean that the laugh and say, go there, go there, go there, go there.
Done up the rediffusion.
You see, the passengers are also pushing these taxi men.
Because they won't go where they're going, and they're mindless of danger, and they're part of
they don't see the danger.
Of a feckless culture, unfortunately. But hear me now, sir. First of all, we need a public transportation policy. The effort some years ago where we were giving out licenses like confetti.
Yeah.
Yes, 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
That is now coming home to roost. In addition to that, we are not confident, nor have we in this present law, as the Gleaner newspaper makes out today, made proper provision for the training of drivers. And training not only mechanically, to operate the vehicle, but to look at them emotionally and see who is fit to have a driver's license, because some people are not. Yes?
Ronnie,
Hold on now, sir. I got a driver's license.
Yes.
Yes? 60 years ago.
Yes.
Yes? Now, I am not the same person that I was when I got that driver's license.
Yes.
And all I have to do is to pay money every 5 years.
Yes.
And my driver's license is renewed.
Yes.
That is a recipe for disaster for me.
Ronnie, you're
else.
not a nice man.
Really?
You're not nice.
No?
You're looking at me, and pointing at me.
No.
Yes. Ronnie, it is true.
Lord,
it is true. I got
camera.
a driver's license 60 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? And my daughter is so wicked to me.
Yeah.
She announced to the police that if them catch me on the road, pull me over and send for her.
Yes.
Because I believe because I'm 86, I can't drive again.
Listen to
but
that.
The truth is,
I love you too much.
I went to the doctor, and the doctor test my thing, and give me the go ahead.
Okay.
My son, who's a doctor, said that doctor love you. As far as we are concerned, we love you more.
We don't want you
so them get me a driver.
Yes.
But the driver can't take me and wait for me at some time.
No.
It's
so,
unfortunate.
But we know that well over 35-40% of the people on the road driving, yes, never passed an honest driving test.
Right.
Okay.
Can't read either.
Can't read. Many of them.
And some of them are better drivers than some who can read.
Well, so that all requires testing.
Yes.
I have a case against the motor insurance companies because they love to take your money for premium, and they ought to be the ones leading road safety in this country, and they are not. Government, yes, is so dependent upon the taxes that cars pay for, whether it is the duty to bring them in, or the tax on the gas, or the licenses. Yes. Don't want to talk about the certificate of fitness because that is one racket. Okay, they are so dependent on that revenue that we have thrown safety out of the window.
Yeah, but Penny,
I have no regard for
you don't think you're being unfair, right?
No, I'm not being unfair.
Well, let me show you why I think you're being unfair. Here is a situation where the government is saying we are interested in protecting children, their lives.
No, the children part, I concede, it's just do everything to protect your children, but please don't do something which is highly impractical. No, having a car seat for a bus or a taxi that carries 5 or 6 children home, simply or to school, will not work. So some of the reforms that were announced yesterday were inevitable. Some of the refinement of those reforms put forward by Emeritus Minister Pearnel Charles Sr. I agree with because they are even more practical. Yeah. Yes.
But could I tell you something? I went down, and I'm going to tell you the truth, Hagler Park Road.
Right.
I was driving on Hagler Park Road going down to Spanish Town Road. And I saw one of the taxi, the one what they called it on those kind of back open.
Okay. Pro box.
Right.
Yeah.
Stop just as the school let out. And at least 20 children went in.
Yeah.
Forcing, pushing, fighting. And the driver in front watching them and putting in and say, come over. I don't know how far they're going.
Yeah. No. But
the point is that if that crash is 18 dead.
Look at it. So look at where is the transport policy? Where is the school buses that we need? Can JUTC fulfill that role? Because I'm not excusing that, but I am saying that it has reasoning behind it. Another reason is that people are paying 20% on a motor car loan. Some of them, yes,
and they
have to pay back that money. Money have to come in a week time.
But hold on, I see a new one come out.
The owner man have to get the money.
I see a new one come out. One thing, half of who running taxis out there are not taxis.
No, sir.
They are what do you call them?
Contract drivers.
No. Private cars running as taxis.
Yeah,
I forget what is the country name. Right?
Robot.
Right? So
but
you are running without the taxi and the robot. The big buses will take 2 hours from the Footer Reddings to Halfway Tree.
Sure, sir.
So the man say, me can't go in there because we will never get to work. So I'm going to a taxi and say, God, the boss.
So where are
we?
How are we going to? We can find a problem for every solution. What we need is a thoughtful sit down about a metropolitan as well as a rural transportation system. When, former Minister Charles, we talk about everything else, but we don't talk about that.
Well, because you weren't there when I was talking. We tried to talk. So somebody asked me, so where is the road? We have the buses. We can bring in the buses.
Yeah, but you see...
we don't have enough.
So we can't bring in the bus that can't fit the road.
So hold on. So exactly. That's why I brought in
the coaster.
The coasters.
Of course.
Right?
And Tata in your time.
Right? And there was another one, what they called it?
I don't remember.
Right? So I was even looking at a vast piece of property in Jamaica, in Kingston.
Yeah.
Right? The waterway from Stony Hill Only open when rainfall.
Sure. We've done it. We've talked about this before. The Sandy Gully.
Yes,
Yeah, we could use that.
Put some top class engineers in there. And you can get
but we're not doing any of that. We just make it go on bad. And we just make man feel that it can go free. And then when we don't like it, we clamp down on him and charge him one whole bag of money. And then when him react to that and rebel from that, you hold on. All right, we're going.
But you must not say it that way to make a man have 300 tickets and don't pay one.
No, I can't. I'm not.
And all of them have tickets and tickets.
As we go to the break, one of the best things I heard yesterday was Minister Shaw saying that for the next 3 months there's going to be a whole-scale review of how the new law is working, what further changes are needed. Yes? And if we do that systematically and sensitively, maybe something good can come out of it. This is the Public Eye on the Bridge. We'll soon come back. Pearnel and I are together till 1 o'clock when we join the Global Connection with Erwin Clare at Ira Jam. Ambassador Curtis Ward and Dr. Novella Davis Buckner will be our guests. But we have some things to take up. A small matter, but a significant matter. Well, not for the first time. When I was coming here this morning, some important official of government, all of us lined up, behaving ourselves in the traffic line, and suddenly 2 policemen and a forward car, 2 black car with big tint and flag, and a next car behind just twist out and block the line and go through. Okay?
Yeah.
What is all that pretentious nonsense?
Well, I'm not going to call it pretentious nonsense, and I'll tell you why. For 2 reasons. Emergency.
Oh, that's fine.
And security.
No. If it's security?
Yes.
Okay. You know, stop on that one, sir.
Yes.
When I became a minister, I was approached.
No, don't bring you.
Why?
Because they were so happy to see you.
Who?
Right? They're looking for some men. You think the Minister of National Security and such minister could be coming in a line for 1 hour and the man named Major Apostle Quanem?
Okay. All right. I will concede you Minister of National Security.
Yes.
I will concede that.
Okay, let's go look for one more concession. The ambassador from a country.
Right. Well, I would like to think that my country doesn't require him to be afraid of anything.
Hold on. I am not. Listen, Ronnie, go beyond Jamaica. In every country that you go.
So every ambassador have to have entourage and security?
Not necessarily every ambassador.
Oh, well, all right. Well, if there are exceptions. But here my point. So it's a critical point of principle.
Yes.
If I go and walk among people and beg them to vote for me, yes? And then the moment I get to work, yes, I have to be surrounded by police and can't experience some of the same travails of life that the same people think. That is arrogance and hubris, and it breeds contempt and dissatisfaction, Mr. Charles.
All right, hold on. Let me hold on at you.
Yeah.
The political system that we operate, we create enemies.
Oh.
Every time you get up in Central Kingston to talk, you have to talk about your greatness, your party greatness.
No.
Hold on.
But anyway.
And you have to denounce the others.
No, well, you see, the political system needs to change then.
Let me move from you and come to me. For me to get Labour right to vote for me, I have to tell you how wicked the PNP is.
Oh, I see. Well, don't you say... What you going to tell God when you reach judgment?
Hold on. Before we get to the Lord, make we tell some... Make we look. I'm talking about the political system.
Yes, sir. I'll hear you.
The political system create a gang of PNP and a gang of Labour.
Come we done it.
Hold on. Every time the Labour right leaving half a tree to go home, them can't walk through jungle.
Come we done it.
Because the PNP chop them up.
So
hold on. And vice versa.
Right.
Hold on.
So you must tell your grandchildren that that's how it go.
You and I.
You know what your grandchildren going to do?
You know what?
The same thing my grandchildren would go for do. They would go and say, "Mom, I can't take this."
Gone.
Exactly. And that we want, and that we're perpetuating.
No, but you're a realist, and I'm a realist. Let's look at the deal, real as it is in Jamaica today. When we get on a platform to talk to Labour rights or PNP,
with respect.
we are saying to them wicked.
No,
and we no good.
Well, I'm not saying that, and I don't think you are wicked at all. And you don't. I hope you don't think I am. But this is foolishness. It's really, really foolishness. So what you have a ruling class of people who, at the public expense, when the public have to suck salt and line up and do all the things, you have a group of people who, because they were chosen by the people to represent their interests, they don't have to abide by any of those rules on the road. What lesson do you think that is given to the children, to others?
Because what you say is not so.
It is so.
No.
Well, I see it on the road.
The Minister Ronald Thwaites, who has to go to cabinet from down at Central Kingston, and cabinet is at 10 o'clock.
Time.
No, and he's leaving.
I used to walk.
You used to walk.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Ronnie, that's why I sit beside you. You're different from me.
But no, I'm an ordinary human being.
When the man fly with me past the people and me hiding at the back of the car, make me shame. But hold on.
But hold on, story different talk.
But the truth is, you're late for cabinet, you're late for parliament, you're late for an appointment, and the system that we operate give us the opportunity for a policeman to give us to carry us.
So Bongo not late too. So what we want to do is use our energy to make sure that none of we have to late, because we have different habits, we have different systems, and what instead we are building a society of exceptionalism rather than inclusion, and we do not see the results of it in our face.
Let me say, a man is shouting me in the back, saying, Pearnel, what are you saying? If it right,
good to ask you
as well, sir. I'm not saying it right. I'm saying that's what it is, and I'm also saying what Ronnie is saying. We wish that we can change it and stop it. And
I hope so.
But sir, me no see we're going to stop right now. No. Because when the political things start, the nation separate.
So we know.
Some wives don't talk to husband, husband don't talk to wife, picnic don't talk to...
And that's where we must live. We're better than that. We're better than that. We must stop doing it now.
But hold on now, let me bowl you with one. Did you watch the the President of the United States last night?
Sir.
Huh?
I did.
What was the difference between the Republican and the Democrats in the Parliament when the President was talking?
Yeah. But
what was the difference?
What was the difference?
Yes.
Very little.
Very little.
Yeah. So, but I don't take them as my model of anything. I want to say to Erwin Clare today and our diaspora audience, I'm disappointed with the United States. Them rich. So what if riches and sufficiency and learning don't make you behave better? Then what is good for, sir?
Yeah, but hold on.
Look at them go on.
States alone, sir.
Look at them go on.
Same thing in Britain, sir. Same thing in Germany, sir.
So that's why God can't come. That's why you were there. No, seriously.
I thought you were right, so that's why God must come quick.
But
God, my mother said, P, take it easy. God soon comes
I believe that.
Word.
I'm an Adventist, you know. I don't practice Seventh-day Adventist, but I believe in the soon coming King.
Yes.
But the world has to come to some grips with itself. Here it is. And we, with all of the brightness that we have, with all of the goodwill, with all of the big heart of people like Pearnel Charles, yes?
Well, could I just say, because
we're put up with
now I know that man, my friend, I watch me up in the mountains. Let me just make it absolutely clear. We take a stand here to discuss everything, the pros and the cons, to represent everybody. But then we come to a standard where we have to decide what is what.
Yeah.
What is going on is not right. In our opinion, is not good.
Yeah.
We wish that we could change. Yeah. Right? We don't see the change coming so quickly, but we must at least start it in some way.
Exactly so.
Just as we did yesterday with the taxi thing.
Sure.
We said, look here, go back to the dining table,
and
to the drawing table,
sure.
and look at it.
And look at it deeply and not superficially.
Don't move away from the fact that you have to protect children.
And you have to improve
find a way to improve
road safety. No doubt about that. Absolutely. And everybody going to have to change up. Good. My problem is, that in so many instances, I have to tell you this with sadness, sometimes I don't want our people abroad listening to us to hear. Corruption is worse than ever before, I know a situation over this weekend the road safety is supposed to be more enforced now. The new law is in place. Yes? And I know of 2 instances, separate instances, and they're by no means unique, where person is stopped for an offense, and the first question that's asked is what you can do for yourself. I know a situation where people are doing business with public agencies. Yes? Yes? And the person who is assigned to help you can put you through your license, your procedure, etc. Start telling you about how I have to go to a doctor next week and I'm asking for a contribution, and please could you send it in cash with the bearer. Asking if you have any car in that business area because they really have that need. And if you report it, that's the last time you will get any service whatever. If you concede to it, you're on a treadmill. Yes, you know how many people in professions that I am aware of. Yes, the only way they get through government bureaucracy is having somebody who you can go to.
It's not only in government, Ronnie.
But then, but Uncle P, we cannot run a country like that. We cannot be happy people.
What you are forgetting, Ronnie, you are forgetting that we are in a country, we are in Jamaica, where it's not just Ronnie and Pearnel. We have some people out
where
there.
Is the education?
Hold on. Some have whole heap of money and want more. Some have nothing and want a little.
Then we go carry it in the grave? A dove cot?
No, I'm talking about 2 sets of people who are following the line that you say, well, you can do for yourself, the left hand or the right hand. Do a thing, no, boss. Yeah. So a policeman stop him and say, well, boy, I'm out from last night, Well, you can go for lunch. But it 1 or 2 policemen must never, ever.
It's not 1 or 2.
Slap the thousands of good, decent men and women who are sacrificing their lives and their family to be out there protecting me and you.
But it's spoiling up. Look,
it's in politics too. It's in the church, Ronnie.
Look on the financial
system. It's in the church.
No, I accept that.
Okay, so once you accept that, then I accept the politics.
What are we doing as a society to say, no, these are the standards we're going to keep. These are like the Old Testament, these are the things you tell your children. Yes, this is the mark you put upon them, that these are the standards. Hey, and we're going to. When I hear the police commissioner on television last night speaking about how efficient and how and I nod and I say, listen to me. You don't know what goes on the street. You want to. I haven't.
But it don't go on like it's only bad things going on the street.
No, but no. Look,
the
sir.
bad things we're talking about. But if we ever come one day just to talk about the good, there are some good policemen, good teachers. You know, there's some teachers who don't show up for school, you know.
Absolutely.
They don't care what they want. A teacher put a boy in the back and say, you stay in the back. Him not touch him for the term, and then call the teacher when I'm going to move on to and say, may I send one to you? You know, you put it in the back in face, come from nowhere in this.
So what are we going to do?
And I have last thing, and we have a teacher, as I told you about her, who cried
when the child doesn't come.
One child did not pass her exam. So I said, is your picnic? Said, no, sir, but
she tried.
Didn't pass except she. I said, ball.
Yeah.
You understand?
So we have the right standard. So what we have to do is to ensure that the right standard becomes the norm rather than the exception.
And my father said to me, Pearnel, that's why we have good and bad. And we must try and make good majority, because you never
we're saying the same thing. But what I'm picking up from you is a kind of weary tolerance that things, yes and bad, but so it stay.
No. Let me say, me have a little of that too. But I am intelligent enough to know that that is not going to take us where we want to go.
Yes. Okay.
I am intelligent enough to know that if we had a system where the majority of people want to go into the right road, then all the children come behind who want to go on the right road. That coming like I told you about why I don't smoke and don't drink. Yeah. My father never sent me a license cigarette. No, but that is it. I'm going to take a draw.
So you got it. So what we need from at every stage at every stage, whether it is at the early childhood stage, in the public advertisements, in everything. We need to say these are the standards, and we are all going to. But people who are corrupt at the base, they're looking on some of us in the high places and say, look on you.
No, I tell you what I'm saying, man.
How much?
You cannot tell a man. When I remember, a man bet me, say him can't prove, say him see me I drink rum, They say, me and you used to drink rum at Gold Street. Me and you? Say, yeah, boss. And the man said, no. It's not the Pearnel Charles. I've never, not even for medicine.
Look at that.
And the man is telling me, say, allow me to tell because I'm see me a bat.
I want to shift you before the time comes up or something else. You're a trade unionist.
Yes.
Yes? No, the Minister of Finance last week says that government contractees, people who work for government on contract, they're going done that, I agree, and they're going to be given permanent posts. Yes, so I'm saying. Yes? They're going to
hold on. You think that the Minister of Finance who said that needs a trade union advisor?
Yes.
And I am available.
Yeah, well,
because guess what?
He could do with you.
Because let me tell you something. That is why a lot of ministers never touched it before.
Yeah.
Because the unions would like to get everybody permanent so that everybody can get the right insurance, the right security, the right...
You know, I'm in favor of them getting all those things, but hear me now. What I'm not in favor of...
So when the taxes come...
Exactly, sir. Two things. One, who is going to pay for it? Where? Because the public sector wage to GDP, yes, which we used to strain to make 9% of GDP, is now nearly 12, and must go up with all of this.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's one. So workers must be treated properly. And if it is done in the public service, what about the hotels and what about the BPO?
No, that is why I come in. Because government has never led the thing, It is the private sector that pays the highest wages. Yeah. At least to some.
To some.
Because there are some people who make more money than ministers.
Yes, sir.
In the thing, right? So I say, I wonder how we're going to do it. This is the right direction to go.
Workers are exploited by these short-term or repetitive contracts where they have no sick leave, no superannuation, where they very often don't have statutory deductions made. Okay, so I'm all in favor of that.
Yeah, the man that was calling me.
Yeah.
Tell Ronnie say if they have to pay all of that, I have to send on the people and I'm not making enough money to pay all of that.
But that is facing us right in front now. And the other thing that I'm against, the aspect of it I'm against, I want to ask you a question before have you ever had a permanent job? In all of your working years, have you ever had a permanent job?
Well, thinking about it.
No! Not even when I was at BITU.
When I was in BITU, it was a fire me, You didn't hear it? That is true.
That is a big joke.
No. Hold on.
This is rich, no. I never hear that.
Errol and myself.
Yes.
Errol and is a great friend.
Memory.
Right? We joined the BITU, and a year after, Hugh Shearer introduced us to Edward Siago. And Errol and myself sat down and said, Pearnel, I love the way how Michael Manley talk about the poor, talk about the people and what they want to do. But I also love the way Siaga is working the thing. I'm clean up down there and putting the people in. And we decided to go with Siaga. Master, when we got to Siaga, about 3 months ago, Siaga put us upon name for counselor. When Buster here, Buster sent us a letter. I invited you guys to come here in the union. Not in politics. You're fired. So, when Mr. Nelson gave us the letter, me look my Errol, look at me. Me said, what are we going to do? Mr. Nelson said, we're not going to talk to Lady B. So we went to talk to Lady B. So Lady B, Errol and myself come to talk to you about the letter we get from Chief. Lady B, type it and say, hold on. I said, Lady B, I didn't know that Buster would against us joining the Labour Party. Is Buster footstep I following?
Oh, Lord.
So, after talking, Lady B go in and say, Chief, Earl and Pearnel is here. And Pearnel says, you want to be like, can't be like me. Can't be like me. None of them can be like me. But Chief, what he said that he didn't know that joining the BIT would involve him in the Labour Party because it's you in following. No, I can't be like me. But anyhow, send him back to work. And take back the letter. and reinstate us.
I tell you, that is history. That is marvelous. Listeners, you ever hear something like that? You know that is real Jamaican history. But hear me now. Going after that, I have never had a permanent job.
Oh, well, that's a question. I think that they would allow you to stay in the BIT as long as you're organizing.
According to your performance.
Yes.
But you know that in the public service.
No, yes, you don't have it.
You don't have that.
No.
Look here. When I got into to government and asked for an evaluation of a certain classification of persons who fell under my portfolio, yes, 90% of them were given good or above average every year, even although the system that they were presiding over was failing miserably.
Yes, but
permanent employment.
But hold on. But they have permanent employment.
Oh yes, why?
The civil service don't have permanent employment.
Yes, they do.
Fire one.
So what you going to do?
You was a politician.
You gone first.
Don't have any.
No, sir. So
they not only review every for 4 years.
So hear me, sir. When now Minister Nigel Clark says he's going to abolish contract employment and find posts for everybody within the service, all you are doing, or what you are doing, despite all your other good intentions, is to increase the number of permanent employees.
No. Put it another way. When you are not a permanent employee, there are certain benefits that you are not entitled to.
Benefits is one thing, you know, sir.
Hold
benefits,
on.
but being irremovable, despite whatever, except under the most torturous circumstances.
I am not sure that he says he's going to make everybody permanent.
That's what
What I think I understand he says is that all people working must be benefited similarly, which means you get your vacation.
You're either on contract or you're in a post.
No. They use, not only in government, but in the private sector, this word contract to lay you off when they want.
No, I understand.
Pay you without
Look, sir, I fully agree. What I'm anxious
is... as government is not going to do that.
No. What I'm... first of all, if he's not doing it in government, private sector can't continue doing it.
But that is what the security guard is doing.
Please let us understand the consequences of what we're doing, rather than to say something when the consequences are not thought out and are not before us.
Well, I'm not going to say what I said to you.
The minister is much too reputable and brighter person to do this.
I'm not going to say what I said to you of the year. No, that's between me and you. The point is that if I was still in the trade union at the bargaining table, I would love him.
Yes.
He would be the greatest man. Because guess what?
Yeah, the unions have lost.
That is what the unions want.
Of course, the unions have lost their balls. So they will.
I go to your I came out to keep mine.
Where else on Jamaican radio will you hear this kind of scatological talk? But I ask you.
But the truth is, Ronnie, is that Dr. Clark recognized that, for example, security guards who are being paid as
the court has made a decision.
They are not getting all of these things.
Absolutely, and they should.
And the government,
but the civil service orders have to be revised at the same time, and people's classification, people's promotion, people's tenure has to be dependent upon their performance, not upon their status.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question. Who is going to check their performance?
We know when we work...
Those people who checking the performance need to be checked too.
Indeed. When we were cabinet ministers, we knew who checked our performance.
I know who checked my performance.
Exactly, sir. And
the people check your performance.
And we had a double check.
Yeah, because the Prime Minister
and the Prime Minister too.
Exactly.
If he says tomorrow morning, thank you very much.
No
question.
He's going to say it nicer than that.
Yes.
He's going to say, P, let me give you another one. I was put at local government, and I said, boy, local government is, you know.
Yeah.
So Mr. Seaga said, but as a trade union, is that where you want to go? I said, no problem. So I go down to New Kingston and build me a three-piece suit. Fucking I wear a three-piece suit. And I drop on my three-piece suit and go down to St. William Grand Park, where all the higglers spread out in King Street at people place, and call them. I said, have a meeting. And Gleena take a picture of me and put on and say, new minister in three-piece suit addressing higglers. You see my answer. You know, from when I wear a three-piece suit.
Yes.
so the truth is, though, Ronnie, truth is that these people need to be protected. And what you haven't asked is that for the past 4 years, the government don't got taxes.
No, but they catch it on the... Oh, no, sir.
No,
but bright people like you understand it don't work that way. Because although there's no new taxes, what do you find? You get taxes, consumption taxes, which is a reputable way. And then what do you find? The Statistical Institute tells us last week, listen up, diaspora audience, yes, that we are 37.5% additional value to imports than it was in 2021, whereas the value of our exports is pitifully little by comparison to that. We are creating an unsustainable trade deficit. Yes?
Why, Ronnie? Because the big boys who are our friends,
pay.
Mama don't say your friend, no.
Yeah. You don't pay.
Our friends.
Yeah.
It is easy for them to import.
Yes, sir.
And pack their thing.
And therefore
and then charge me whatever when they sit down on the table.
Yes, sir.
It's whatever it costs.
Okay.
And it goes in the supermarket.
And guess what happens? And you began the program by saluting your people in the Dry Harbor Mountains.
Yes.
What we do is to make a contract with some people from abroad, Russian or American, we don't care. Yes, to scrape off the topsoil.
Yes.
Yes, which to leave the crater of land, which one Pearnel Charles said, if goat or cow ever drop in it, they can't live.
Can't live.
Yes, and left us like that, and we then have to spend the foreign exchange, yes, to import the very things that we could grow right there. And you're someone close to you, the Minister of Agriculture, yes has to suck salt. Yes, with the diminution and depletion forever, because none of us will live, generations will live to see the restoration of that topsoil. And we say it is progress, and we continue to do that. And when people complain about it, yes, they are assumed to be of some malicious intent or different and nefarious political connection. Foolishness.
Want bauxite workers not to get big money.
No,
want contractors not to
I want them to earn different ways to earn bigger money.
So, Ronnie, so poor.
We're foolish.
Poor us. But as you touch that, it bothers me because I have to really settle down, bring down the temperature.
No.
Because I know. You remember the moon on the breadfruit tree?
Yes, sir.
And I told you that Bangkok and many land in St. Anne, Clarendon and Manchester, the high banks are topsoil.
Yes, sir.
That they should have spread back.
Yes, sir.
Full up the hole with rockstone and put back the topsoil.
Right, so no, do it. And we sitting down and we are keen up with them because they give charity. No, sir, not that. Last thing before we have to break for the observances and then the global connection. Going back to the road traffic thing.
Yes.
Okay? I'm pleading with you now, sir. In as much as we have any voice, you certainly do. Okay? Why we don't, the Prime Minister, who is the minister in charge, doesn't say to the Heart Trust, you take responsibility for driver education and re-education in Jamaica.
Well, before you get to that,
Don't Heart is a training institute. Don't Heart get money from all of us who work?
Yeah, but hold on, Ronnie.
What is the basic training?
The easiest way to do it.
Right, sir.
Everybody has to get their license. It's over a period of time. Hundreds have to go in every week. And they just go in and pay and get less because they have a document there. Nobody asked him to read.
You know?
Nobody asked him to can see right.
This would do it.
Nobody asked
this would save everybody's grace. You could bring in the private sector instructors.
Aye.
But Hart would take responsibility to monitor and to ensure that young people, because the younger people are both victims and aggressors on the road as well as elsewhere, Hart takes responsibility. I tried with them when I had responsibility for Hart, and I got a brick wall. I believe things, the attitude must change now.
But look what they did for me. When I was supposed to be sending away professionals, mechanics, machinists, welders to Canada, nobody was certified.
Yeah.
70% of the people were not certified. So I had to bring in Hart.
Yes.
And every weekend, Hart had a crowd, and whoever it is, I don't know what the testing was, but I know who come out and said them pass and who failed.
So that's
certification. So there is room to do some of what you're talking about.
Of course, and there's money. Where is the board of Hart? You both of us are familiar with a highly regarded chair of the board. I know the executive director. Why don't they take up this thing? Why doesn't the prime minister, who speaks so feelingly and I'm sure sincerely about road safety, why doesn't he put it in the hands of the training agency rather than just as a Lego thing, where now even the existing driving schools are saying that they, under the new law, have no place?
The who?
The driving school. See it on the front page of the Gleaner today. This is the Public Eye on the Bridge 99 FM. Soon come. Thanks very much for being with us on the Bridge 99 FM. This is the Public Eye. The Honourable Pearnel Charles is the co-host. And we join our friend Erwin Clare at Irish Jam Radio, broadcasting in New York City to a great radius of the Jamaican diaspora in the northeast of the United States. Erwin Clare, greetings.
Greetings and salutations to you both. It's a bright, sunny day here in New York.
Yes.
We could almost say it's a heat wave. But it's not 80 degrees. It's close to in the 40s. But when you compare where we should be as it relates to our winter months, this is indeed we're basking in the sun.
Well,
let's say.
I'm glad for your reprieve.
You know what he said, at 40 degrees, you know.
Yes, 40 degrees.
Yeah, and Erwin,
yes.
While you're on that, could we express a word of condolence to those people in the Far East with this hurricane, earthquake, thousands of people have died.
In the middle of winter.
Up to now, we don't know, Jamaicans are in every country,
There you are.
So we don't know yet.
Yes.
Well, it should cause us to reset, and to realize that with all the things that we do as mankind, how easily it can be, humankind, how easily they can be removed, and we have to pay homage and at the same token find ways to assist our brothers and sisters in these time of challenges.
Yeah, that's for sure. We don't want to follow their route. We can't avoid natural disaster.
When these things come along, it allows us to think about ourselves.
Absolutely,
because it might not be hurricane.
Yes.
It might not be earthquake.
Yes.
It can be hurricane. We don't know.
No, but what we do know is the seismologists tell us, Erwin, that the Jamaica is in line for a serious earthquake.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, we don't know when. Could be 50 years. Could be longer, shorter. We do not know. But we need to be aware of and conscious of, and it's a spiritual thing as well as a logistical thing. It doesn't need paranoia, but what it does mean is watchfulness and carefulness.
And let me tell you what you have not said. When you look around now, everywhere you look, there's 5- and 6-story buildings.
I'm not going there. Anyway, when I mentioned to you 40s just now, and somebody texted me right away and said, "No, Erwin, it's almost 50 degrees outside." So yes,
that's lovely.
It's a heat wave, it's a very good day because it's the day after we watched Rankin Joe last night.
I wanted to ask
Rankin Joe.
Yes,
yes, and let me just start by saying this, right? That I posted something out and I said, according to what Mr. Biden said last night, I will see you at the groundbreaking.
Really?
Yes, and what he meant by that was that infrastructure bill that was passed largely by Democrats and hailed to be something that will move the United States back to where it needs to be in repairing its bridges and roads, etc., was not supported by Republicans. However, the first major project signed and the picture taking was in who? It was there in Kentucky.
Yeah.
The head of the minority leader of the Senate.
McConnell.
And so the president kept saying all these guys, all these guys who didn't vote for it kept calling his office and saying, when can we get ours?
Yeah.
And that's why he tongue in cheek says, I'll see you at the groundbreaking. He was masterful last night.
He was
he was very good.
He was. I think we who from our distance agree with that. And I also wish to extend kudos to Senator Romney, who put your strange fellow. I almost called him a queer fellow, but that's not right.
No.
In his place. Tell George Santos, you should not be here.
And in fact, it's interesting to put as somebody says, you can embellishing is when you'd say you got a A when it's really a minus. But never to have gone to the institution. That's not it.
No, not.
But worse is there, one of the top guys say we have to wait and see if this thing is true.
Oh well,
so we have to wait for proof. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but you must also remember too the role that Santos plays right now in the whole numbers game.
Of course,
for Kevin McCarthy.
That's the problem.
Yeah, because many Republicans are saying the right things to themselves or under their breath, but not publicly because of that dimension. Because a special election call right now, I'm not certain that the Republicans would win that.
Not that seat.
No, not that seat. Yeah.
Well, so there you go. But what?
But I see Philadelphia has gone Democrat.
Yes, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
We have a Democratic. They have a Democratic governor.
Yes.
And I must say, who had made some significant forays into the Jamaican Caribbean community, and we look forth now to see how that plays out in our community.
There are the Economist Intelligence Unit estimates that there are 11.5 million unfilled jobs in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
what are the prospects of the long lines that are to be seen in front of the United States Embassy in Kingston?
No, Ronnie, don't ask that, because they might just say cut the length of time. And you wake up one morning and everybody gone.
Well, you see,
because I've told you, whatever, if you put a ship down in the water and say it's going to America, it is not going to move. Going to sink right there.
Well, you see, and that is not good testimony on behalf of our nation.
No.
That's not good testimony on behalf of our nation. Yeah. And I know that people want opportunities, and if that's the route they have to go, that is usually not a good testimony for a nation.
No.
Because it means that we're failing in providing for ourselves.
That's a reality.
Yeah, but Erwin, even if it means that, the facts are, right now, a man is going to say, I won't take care of my picnic.
Yes, and that's what
I am not an idealist, I'm a realist.
Yeah.
Yes,
and the place I'm going to get a life is where you have thousands of jobs available.
Sure.
Good jobs that I can do all of these things and take care of my district.
Sure. Let me tell you, Erwin Pearnel, a excellent Jamaican primary school that I'm familiar with lost 4 of its best teachers to migration last week alone. And this is on top of several others who have gone in previous months. Now, I have all of the sympathy with the construct that Pearnel just gave, that people realistically come to terms with. But what I'm saying is that we in Jamaica still have to cope with the picnic in the classroom who don't have that excellent teacher anymore. Yeah. What are we doing? Where is the sit down and say, no, come on now. We want to encourage teachers, incentivize them to stay, and we are going to replace them, not by just find a body just out of school or not even that far. But we are going to refine our capacity for excellence. If we do not do that, and I don't hear that argument taking place, it's a difficult talk, but if that argument doesn't take place, particularly in the security, in the health and the education sector, then we are going nowhere as a people. And government...
Ronnie, isn't there a new industry that you can bring in? A new industry would be to train the private sector now, not government, right? Or set up a system to train people.
Yes.
You know how much money they could make?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but again, though, gentlemen, let's be real to ourselves. We are recycling things that we keep saying over and over again. Why aren't we doing it?
Well, I can't answer that question, but
I can answer it.
Yes, sir.
The fact is that it's easier to import and distribute while people will buy, rather than to create.
So who is in charge?
That is why.
But it goes back down to a decision that's taken.
Who is in charge? That's what you have leadership for. No, leadership is hard, but you have to have leadership.
You drop a two more. You drop a two more. But you have leadership, but leadership is hard.
No, leadership is very hard, but at the same time you have to do it. But leadership which is divided and looking over the shoulder and sparring over nonsense, stand up in Parliament.
Yeah.
Them can't lead. Them just. I could use
hold on. Take it down.
You better take a deep breath, because guess what? It's right across the board.
No, but that doesn't give you any comfort. We only have one life and time running.
And gentlemen, we're dealing with present moving forward, recognizing the history, yes, but we can't keep looking over our shoulder to say that's what it used to be. I think people are requesting now, demanding now, to work together to move forward, because their children's lives, just as you said, people look at opportunity to go away because it's not there. We have to make some hard, cold decisions that is above political, opportunistic situations. That's what it comes down to.
On that note, we take a break on the public eye. When we come back, Ambassador Curtis Ward joins us. What is Jamaica's best approach or current policy towards the Organization of American States, towards the government of Venezuela? What's happening with our foreign policy? A perspective from him soon come.
It's almost 50 degrees here in New York City. It's a bright, sunny, balmy day. Are you breaking out the swimsuits yet? Please don't. Anyway, we're going to join Ron Thwaites and Pearnel Charles on 93.5.
Sorry for you.
You're sorry for it. Hey, but really and truly, they have those who are doing that right now behind a glass,
Okay, thanks very much. And the Honourable Pearnel Charles and Erwin Clare and myself, welcome. Yes. Ambassador Curtis Ward, former Deputy Permanent Representative of Jamaica to the United Nations. What are you saying, Erwin,
I'm sorry, I spoke over you just now.
Okay.
Just before Ambassador came on, and he would appreciate this too.
Yeah.
I want to send kudos out to our Minister of Tourism, who was at the UN this past week, and I gather got the UN and countries to sign on to the whole resiliency day, and that has been part of his trek throughout the world. And kudos go out to Jamaica for their role in that whole tourism resiliency.
Yeah, hope so. Hope
we trust. Well, we hope so, in the interest of our nation, and our nations.
And he's very energetic. Ambassador Ward, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. And you should tell Erwin it's 84 degrees Fahrenheit in Kingston.
You need to be on my side, You're in Washington, D.C., okay?
You are in the cold zone too?
No, man, he's a little warmer than me.
I tell you.
I will not comment on that.
No, your diplomatic reserve will prevent you. Ambassador Curtis Ward, help us, help our listeners in the diaspora and in Jamaica. In the recent past, Jamaica has taken certain positions in the Organization of American States which seem to be different from our traditional posture. Perhaps that's been even broader than in the OAS. And specifically, we have in the past 5 years or more had positions in relation to Venezuela that were different, and which may now need to be thought over again. Can you address us on that and tell us what is in our best interest?
Our best interest is to normalize relations with Maduro's government. It's here to stay. I've said that several years ago. I got some pushback on that a few years ago because I was told it's just a matter of a few months and Maduro's government would be overthrown and thrown out of power. I had a contrary view on that, and I was getting this from some of the so-called experts on U.S.-Venezuela policy. Where we are today is that I have been proven right. Maduro is still there, and the so-called interim president is fading into the background as fast as ice is melting in Kingston on the street. and so Maduro is the person that we have to interact with, whether we like it or not. But our interaction anywhere at this point in time, especially in particular of obtaining natural gas coming out of the Trinidad-Venezuela deal, is a long way from being realized. There are many issues still to be reconciled, because one of the licensing conditions that the U.S. placed on those countries that will take oil or engage in natural gas production out of Venezuela is that they cannot pay the Venezuelan government with cash of any currency. It must be in food or products. And Maduro has rejected that and said countries in the Americas and the Caribbean and elsewhere should also speak up against that license restriction. So don't put your pot on the fire, expect to be cooking with natural gas from Trinidad, because Trinidad doesn't have an agreement yet with Maduro.
So Ambassador Ward, cut to the chase, sir. Is there any hope of a revival of the Petro-Carib arrangement, which did us so well, so proud?
I have my doubts about that, but anything is possible, because even with all the bad vibes that we have projected towards Maduro coming out of the Jamaican government, Maduro has not seemed to be holding the Jamaican government hostage to it. But as you know, the expropriation of Petrojam's shares that the Venezuelan government had, that has to be reconciled. The price that Jamaica determined in the Jamaican parliament is not an agreed price, and Maduro has rejected that price. So that has to be fixed. But I think even with the Petro-Carib and money is an issue. How do you pay for it? I know the Petro-Carib is based on lots of credit and delayed payments and so on. But Maduro needs cash. Right. And he is looking for cash. And that is why he has objected to the license that the U.S. is granting to a number of producers, U.S. as well as European producers, and the license to Trinidad.
Would it mean then, Ambassador, Erwin, would it mean that we would have to confront the United States policy and oppose them in order to be able to come to some likely acceptable arrangement?
That is part of it, but the people who are being granted the license, and it is the licensee that will be selling the oil abroad. They are not going to go against U.S. policy. They are still in negotiations. Whether the Biden administration can move quickly on that is anybody's guess. My guess is that they want to move slowly, one step at a time. The world needs Venezuela's oil and gas, and so Biden will have to put his foot on the accelerator in terms of lifting the restrictions that were imposed by the United States. They took one step, but there are many more steps that need to be taken before we can get to a situation where we can be ensured that Venezuelan oil and natural gas coming through the Trinidad Agreement will be available to us.
Mr. Ward, do you agree that there's also a political problem in the United States itself? It doesn't matter what Biden wants to do. There's another side who don't even want to hear Venezuela, Cuban, and therefore he has a political thing to face. And at least get some people to start, send them back there, because you don't know what's going to happen in the East. So he's preparing himself. To me, I hope we can go forward with Guyana and Trinidad, and Jamaica can come in.
When you're answering that question, Ambassador Ward, would you please answer the rider? Does Jamaica have a similar political problem regarding this issue?
And Ambassador, put in there too the whole factor that the head of the foreign relations on the Senate side is one of those persons who are anti-Cuba, anti-Venezuela. Are we talking about our senator out of New Jersey? How does that factor in?
Yeah. Yes, this is a multiple choice question. Or no, all these questions are quite valid. Let's begin with the first part of the question by Ronnie Thwaites. Yes, Biden has a political problem, and Irwin kind of tied that in also with the chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee in the Senate, or Foreign Relations Committee. I keep mixing them up. He does have a political problem, and we have to bear in mind.
That's who, Senator Menendez?
Yes, that he is an anti-Cuban. Or I should put it another way. He's a Cuban American holding grudges against the Cuban government. We must also bear in mind, as far as U.S. political situation is concerned, that the campaign now gets going for the 2024 presidential election. And everything Biden does from here on
come down to vote
until November 2024 will be politically based and have political implications. Venezuela is a hot potato. There are strong Republicans and some Democrats who are anti-Maduro. And because of that, Biden has to tread carefully, because there are certain states that he could easily lose if he embraces Maduro. As far as Jamaica is concerned, Jamaica does have a political problem, because Jamaica followed Trump's line in the OAS and jumped onto the Juan Guaido bandwagon, sidelined Maduro, and it is to Jamaica's detriment. It was a ridiculous position to take, because there are other CARICOM countries who did not go along with that.
Right.
And I applauded those countries. They showed that they were sovereign countries with independent foreign policies, but Jamaica failed to do so. That is one of the many issues that Jamaica has failed miserably as far as foreign policy is concerned. So Jamaica does have a political problem, but Jamaica will take its cue from the Biden administration on this one, and will not try to get ahead. But my position would be Jamaica should sit with Trinidad and help Trinidad to move the needle for Trinidad to be able to remove the restrictions from the licenses agreement. But the catch is, if Biden waives it for Trinidad, he's going to waive it for everybody. And that's the presents him with a political problem.
Listen, let me ask you this. The OAS was critical in the decision that Jamaica had joined on. Where are they now in their advocacy and lobby to what you just said?
It is really difficult to tell, because the discussions haven't yet gotten very heated in the OAS. We know the Secretary General from day one was compromised on this issue. He was so anti-Maduro that people were calling for his resignation. He had compromised the OAS in being politically biased and clearly being controlled by the Trump administration. Now, when Jamaica voted to re-elect him, I think that was a mistake also. But then, what can I tell you? Jamaica also supported the Trump administration candidate to head up the Inter-American Development Bank. And where is he now? he was disgracefully eased out of the IDB.
But we know shame.
I should ask you guys that question.
Yeah.
Do we have no shame? I am ashamed as a Jamaican in the diaspora, but you are right here at home. How do you really deal with that kind of what I call a shambolic foreign policy that does not stand on the core principles that both governments of Jamaica in the past have stood up and defended those principles?
Mr. Ward, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Let's go to the diaspora. The amount of Jamaicans in America and their influence and Jamaica and Jamaicans, politically, financially, and otherwise. Would they stand up for Jamaica to literally be against America in a position like the Venezuelan position? Erwin, tell me what they will say up there.
All right.
No, Erwin, before you answer, I wouldn't want to say stand against. I would say oppose the policy of the United States in support of Jamaica's improved relations with Venezuela. It's not a question of standing against. It's a question of opposing policies.
You see, the other factor here is this: is when you make decisions like that, the question then begs itself: what is the benefit of that decision? One, and how negative it would have been to you to have gone against. Because from whence I speak, and I'm looking now at the foreign relations head on the House side, in Representative Meeks, very understanding and sensitive to the Caribbean, would have listened to, and in many times listened to what the Caribbean is saying, whether or not they take into their decision-making process. I believe that there's a level of respectability from that standpoint. That's my impression. So
how do we write our position now? Because we when I look at the import statistics published by the Statin recently, our oil bill is the major stimulant to this huge trade balance that Jamaica is experiencing, where the Bank of Jamaica is having to put flash sales of foreign exchange so often into the market in order to stabilize it. This doesn't indicate equilibrium. We have to it was very different when we had a Petrocarib.
So are you saying that it was different in terms of monetary value for Jamaica?
Yes.
To the point where you say that going the American way
hurt us. Yes.
And this is valuing other things, not just oil. So because America sending back these two Americans team to Venezuela to start up the operation, right? They, in my opinion, is a step in the right direction, and that's the way they are going.
Yeah, but we have lost in the meanwhile, and we're still losing, sir. Yeah. And we can't afford it.
And you see, it shows you.
PP clock is not a foreign policy principle.
And it shows you just how fickle the whole situation is, because it is now the United States that has changed course, and they can do so because people say United States have no shame. They just move towards what's in their best interest, and have left us behind who were on their side prior to the decision being made.
Yeah, they just walk away and leave you and do their own thing. But then we can't do that.
Two things. Mr. Charles, you mentioned the diaspora. And then, Mr. Thwaites, you mentioned the Bank of Jamaica having to sell foreign exchange, etc. Where do you think that came from?
Yeah.
The diaspora.
Yeah.
Over $3 billion in diaspora remittances in 2022.
Right.
And 2021. $3 billion.
Yes.
Look at where that foreign exchange. People tend to believe that the remittances just go to support family members, etc. But guess what? Which family member goes to Western Union or Grace Financial or Jane or wherever and collect US dollars, pounds sterling, or Canadian dollars? They don't. they collect the equivalent in Jamaican currency.
Yeah.
Right.
All the foreign exchange ends up in the Bank of Jamaica.
And you think so? You want to throw away that?
No.
You think you want us? Randy would like us. Randy would like us to say to our diaspora people, look. We are going against that. And
No.
Randy, if they go against us,
but I'm not saying that.
Well,
Not at all.
if we go against United States, we're going against them.
Not going against him. We can do, sir.
We can stand on principle.
As we have always done in the past.
Yes.
We can say this is our principle. We are very respectful of you and the reception you give to our people and the value that their remittances and more generally are to us.
And they are going to be as nice to us as you just said.
But gentlemen,
Yes.
you know, when I heard Ambassador...
There was just a point I want to make, Irwin. I'm very sorry.
Go ahead.
Because the license waiver that Trinidad has been given to get the production of natural gas going, the way it works is that they will jointly extract the natural gas. It will be processed in Trinidad, and some of it will go back to Venezuela. But Venezuela want cash for all the natural gas that's been taken.
That's right. Not
the licensing waiver also said some of that natural gas is to be sold to Jamaica and to the Dominican Republic. This is a part of the commitment made by the Biden administration at the Summit of the Americas in Los Angeles for energy security in the Caribbean. This is how they see that. We must play up to that and push them and say, it cannot work. You are not helping us with energy security by just putting it in a license agreement. You have to make it possible for the license agreement to be executed. We can put pressure that way. We can say, don't make it appear as if you're helping us with energy security. Make all of us feel good, including those of us in the diaspora who is supporting the Biden administration. Don't make us feel good by saying, oh, this is what you said to Trinidad. No, Trinidad cannot execute that license because you restrict the payment to Venezuela of money.
Yes. So, and we go on having to suck all. Listen, Ambassador Ward, thank you so much for your perspective. So thank you for being available to us on the Bridge 99 FM. Irwin Clare, stay tuned. We will return.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us on the Public Eye on the Bridge 99 FM, linking with Ira Jam Radio for the global connection. Irwin Clare, are you there?
Yes, I am. You know, just before we start, gentlemen, when Ambassador Ward spoke about all those monies, another statistic jumped out at us based on an economist that shared this with us, and that the diaspora contributes close to 37% of GDP. And one of the things that we should be demanding as a people here in the diaspora is to be involved in some of those policy committees on the whole financial markets, especially what's taking place there in Jamaica, and something for us to debate and contemplate here in the diaspora, gentlemen.
Got your point. Welcome, Dr. Novelette Davis Buckner.
Hi. Thanks for having me. How are you?
We're fine, but we're welcoming you home. We hear that it's a little warmer than it was last weekend.
Definitely.
Where
today
you
was
are.
50 degrees. That's how it feels. Like it's like 50 degrees. I'm not sure what the weather is outside, but coming and going, it felt good.
Well,
it felt good compared to last week.
I can imagine. Well, it's 80 plus degrees in Kingston, and
we don't say that.
I don't want to say abe and give you red eye, but never mind.
I'm jealous.
The warmth of our hearts are radiating to you. Dr. Novelette Davis Buckner, meet the Honorable Pearnel Charles, who is a co-host with Irwin Clare and myself on this program.
Hi, how you guys doing? Hi, Irwin, how are you?
Great. I want to introduce you to these gentlemen in Jamaica.
Please do.
And we're talking about a philanthropist, a cardiothoracic nurse practitioner, an author, and a proud Jamaican who continues to give back.
Wow. Tell us your background. Where you come from, Dr. Novelette?
So I'm from Brandon Hill, Clarendon.
Wow. Yes.
Yes, way up there in the Bullhead Mountains.
Yes.
I'm at Brandon. I don't know if you know where that is, but it's situated at the foot of the Bullhead Mountain.
Yes.
and it's close to Kellits, right? You probably know of Kellits if you don't know of Brandon Hill.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, that's where I'm originally from.
And tell us your story.
A proud girl from the soil of Brandon Hill.
Okay, and where you went to school?
I went to Veertech. I first went to Veer Technical High School.
Yes.
And I lived in Jamaica for a little bit, so I worked at Courts Jamaica Furniture in Maypen for a while.
And who was your principal at Veer? Mr. Isaac Henry?
Ben Francis.
Mr. Ben Francis, of course.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
Yes, of course. Mr. Henry was.
Then I migrated to the United States in '87. And when I got here, I went to Malloy College, which is now Malloy University.
Wow.
And proud to say I'm now an adjunct professor at Malloy University.
We're done proud of you.
Yeah, so I went to Malloy for my BSN and then back for my master's, and I went to Stony Brook University for my doctorate.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Proud of you. Glad to know Jamaicans can do this. But tell me now, you've never turned your face away from Jamaica, have you?
I would never do that. Yeah. Never.
So,
the reason is my roots, I can't remember, forget where I'm coming from. Yeah. I can never forget where I'm coming from. Because I've been there, I've seen people in need. I know what it feels like. And because of that, I cannot turn my eyes on Jamaica. No.
What's the LJDR Davis Foundation, Dr. Novelet?
Okay, so it stands for my siblings, Loretta, Jacqueline, Donald, Rowan Davis. They were all my brothers and sisters that passed away at an earlier age, and under the age of 40, all four. And when they died, I was a little, upset, especially with my little brother, Rowan, because I felt like his death was preventable. But due to poor access, living up in Brandon Hill, and the closest hospital at the time was pretty much Maypen, that could deal with anything that was, not like just basic health care. And I saw the need in the district and in the people of Jamaica. So when I became a medical practitioner, a nurse practitioner, I wanted to give back, and that's why I started that foundation, the LJDR Davis Foundation, in memory of my brothers and sisters.
Oh, that's wonderful. How does the foundation operate?
So the foundation operate through, we're a nonprofit organization, and we do medical missions in Jamaica. And we go to Jamaica every year in July. We provide all the necessary medical help that you can think of, free of cost. It operates basically through fundraising events. And I have a few sponsors, CariMed, Dr. Glenn
Christian.
Yeah, he's from my
Brandon.
Yes, he's from my district.
Yes, I've been to the Evelyn Mitchell School.
I know he's from
Yes, that's where we actually practice when we get there. We work out of the Evelyn Mitchell infant school, which was donated by Glenn, right? Sure. And once I came up with the idea, he's been my mentor since, and been a sponsor since in Jamaica. And the hospital that I work for currently as a cardiothoracic NP, when they heard of my plan, they're like, "What are you taking up?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm just gonna try and help my people." And they joined force with me, and they also will assist and support what I do. So they will always give me a small grant to help with buying medications and shipping my goods to Jamaica, the goods that we normally send there.
What's been the response of the people who you in those communities who are served by your foundation's missions?
Oh my God, they're overjoyed. They're excited. We had to stop going because of COVID, and during that time, my mom passed away, 94 years old. Frances Davis passed away, and I got there, and the people in the community they thought we were back, and I'm like, no, I'm here to bury my mom. and they were praying and begging. They're overwhelmed with the kindness, with the team. When the team comes, the whole community change. We bring nurse practitioners, doctors, cardiologists, GYN. We're doing labs. We turned that school in a clinic or like a hospital pretty much, because we're doing labs, we're doing echocardiograms,
yes,
we're doing dental work.
Excellent.
And the people are just excited and appreciative when we get there.
Let me ask you this, because we have limited time left, and you have a very important event coming up, because all these great things you're talking about needs money. Yeah, so talk to us about this event you have coming up.
Mm-hmm. So the event we have coming up on next Saturday, it's February 18th, and it's our 10th year anniversary, and we're celebrating big. We're having it at Leonard's a Great Neck, and we have tickets on sale for $150 to support to help us with the medical mission coming up in July.
Sure.
Our guest speaker is going to be the Minister of Health, and the Consul General is also going to be in attendance. We're trying to make this an event for people to remember. While you're celebrating Valentine's Day or Valentine's weekend, you're also giving love to the people of Clarendon. I have to say Clarendon, because we have extend over past Brandon. So people are coming from all over to get medical care.
Of course.
No, Doc. You mentioned that, and it's a great weekend too. So tell us, how do we get tickets? Give us a quick telephone number, because that's what people are listening for now.
Right. So you can call me at 718-810-2553. That's my personal number, and I will get tickets to you some way or another. So it's 718-810-2553. Or you can go on Facebook or Instagram. And I have the flyer all over social media. If they reach out, just look for the LJDR Davis Foundation, or the website, ljdrdavisfoundation.org. You can buy your ticket online by just going in and donate your $150 and just bring your name. It will show up on my phone that you purchase your ticket.
All right.
Lovely.
All right.
Listen, we just want to thank you. Thank you very much, and thank that team that comes along with you, Dr. Novelet, and just tell them how grateful we are.
I know we are.
But tell them for us, please, that Jamaica will reach out to them, and we look forward to a very successful fundraiser, and also for an even more successful mission later this year. Thank you, and don't weary in well doing, as the Bible says.
Indeed.
Yes, Doctor, I know you have to explain to a lot of people. Oh, you're a nurse and they call you doctor.
Yes, she has a doctorate.
All right.
Dr. Novelet Davis Buckner of the LJDR Medical Mission for Upper Clarendon. Please support them.
Just about in my constituency.
Indeed, there you are.
I know that. I'm looking at you, Mr. Charles, and your face. I said, I know the face.
Who don't know this man?
You're right,
Thank you guys for having
All the
me.
best. Look forward to you. Good. Irwin Claire, that's a nice mix.
I know it needs.
Give us a final word.
Listen, the Jamaican Global Diaspora Council elections took place last week. We're still awaiting results. So hopefully by next week when we meet, we'll know who the new representatives are.
Were you a candidate?
No, man. I'm too old for that.
Let's try and interview them so that we can understand how they see their roles.
Indeed. We're looking forward to that.
And thank you so much for your company always, eh?
All the best.
Bye. Irwin Clare of Ira Jam Radio, the partner, the hub of the Bridge 99 enterprise, talking to us from New York. Mr. Charles.
This lady, when Glenn brought them down, and he took them up to the other constituency.
Dr. Davis.
Because he is from there.
Yeah.
And this community center is there. Robbed me of the privilege of getting them down in mine.
Listen to me.
But we send people up there.
Well, indeed. And I'm sure that there will be more who prepare themselves in the future, and they'll stretch,
But I tell you what, my daughter is also on this land. She's also a adjunct professor at one a university.
You're large.
Last one.
That's great. Wonderful.
She went to Brooklyn and did a master's in law.
And look at that.
And said...
Engaged in this too.
Yeah,
well, that's wonderful. Congratulations.
Doing better than I could.
Well, you don't expect the progress is not static. You must be. She must be better than you. That's the success of what you have done. If she is.
Well, if me them couldn't be there.
And that's how. On that note, we close the public eye on the Bridge 99 for this Wednesday, the 8th of February. Thanks so much to all those who make this program possible: Lafane, Romy, Peter, John, Jeffrey, everyone on the Bridge 99 FM. A special program. We look forward to being with you next week on the Public Eye. Stay tuned for the crossover up next. See you then.